Good morning, students. I hope that you are all happy and excited for life today, provided you would have been on that short little break during Parents and Teachers Consultation Day. Last week, we started stock valuation, and yesterday at Consultation Day, some persons expressed that they did not quite understand the topic of LIFO and FIFO. So we will delve deeper into it today, and hopefully you will be able to get the concept of LIFO, FIFO, and AFCO. If the time does not allow, we might not do AFCO today. However, well, during class, I'll provide a video for you to do it today. But nonetheless, let us move on. Let us delve into today's class. So here's a question for us, an example. Receipts and issues of stock of a stock item are as follows. And here we see receipts and sales, so all the items that were sold for these 3 months, and the items that were received or purchased for these 4 months. But before we go into that, let us say that this is a business. This is a company, and the person, the owner of the company, Patsy or Selena, has produced our stock items, the receipts and the issues for our stock items. Now, this is what it looks like. And the question says there are no opening stock in hand. So we don't have any opening stock, but we have for which we sold. Give me a second, please. Let me just scroll down. All right. The question continues. You are required to calculate the closing stock in trade using FIFO, 2 LIFO, and 3 AFCO. The B part says, draw up the trading account for the year ended the 31st of December 2007, showing the different reported gross profits from the figures given in A. Now, let us focus on A at the moment. In January rather, we received goods. Selena received goods from Sashiana or Sashanique at $30 for each, and she bought 20 cases. In May, Sashanique sold Selena 10 cases of rum cream for $33 each. In July, Taifa sold Selena 16 cases of peach for $38 each. And then in October, Abigail sold Selena 12 cases of pineapple for $39 each. In June, in the month of June, Selena sold Sashanique 6 cases for $45 each. In August, Selena sold Giselle 22 cases at $45 each. And then in December, Selena sold 10 cases of white rum or breadfruit for $48 to Azika. So let's work with those. Let us move on now. I hope I didn't lose you with the question. Let us move on to creating our FIFO, LIFO, and AFCO accounts. So here we have our FIFO account. And the good thing about this is that I'm going a little bit slower. So when you are replaying the video, you are able to follow along in case you have missed anything at all. So for FIFO, in January, these different colors are used as a code for you to help you to readily see where each item came from and what the next transaction would be. In January, let's say we received 20. Again, Selena received 20 cases from Sashanique, and she's to sell each case for $30. In January, she did not sell. Nobody bought any of the products from January that she purchased in January. So what you will do at the ending of the month of January, you will be required to take stock, to do a stock valuation. Therefore, you're going to check to see how many of these items do you have left and how many were sold. Because none was sold in the month of January, though you purchased them in January, you are going to write the same total that you had at the starting of the month for this item here. Let me just say, as a reminder, FIFO means first in, first out. So the first good that you purchase in the year is the first good that you will sell from first. Issued also means sold, and received also means purchased. Stock after each transaction means that in the month, if you receive 20 items and you sold 10 out of that 20, then that would be a transaction. The act of selling and getting your money in exchange for the items you sell, that would be a transaction. But here we see that because none was sold in January, again, you rewrite the entire amount that you would have at the start of January here. What's happening here is a calculation. In this column, it's a calculation. So we say 20 times $30, 20 items times $30 equals 600. The reason why we put it here at the second $ column instead of the first $ column is because we have no other item to sell from in January. So we are not making an adjustment. This column is going to be our adjustment column. Because we're not making an adjustment again, we put the final closing stock under $number 2. And the question here would have said that we should calculate the closing stock in trade. So that is why our second $ is our closing stock column, adjustment column, and closing stock column. In May, we purchased items. Selena purchased 10 cases of an item at $33 each. However, in May, she was not able to sell any of those items that she purchased. So what you will do again is rewrite the total here. The total amount of goods that you had in May, because none was sold from it, you rewrite it here. In other words, what you're saying is 10 minus 0, leave 10. Now, because FIFO is first in, first out, meaning the first goods you purchase first, you will rewrite them first and sell from them first. So none was sold from January items, so you put it back right here. This is it. After stock taking, you would still have the same amount that you purchased in January and in May. My color, the difference in color is just to show you that this is two different goods. Now, we're going to put again our total for this sum. 20 times 30 is 600. It's that same $600 here that we rewrite here. And after we have done that, we're going to go and say 10 times 33, which is the items we purchased in May, and the total 10 times 33 gives you $330. So then you're going to make the adjustment. We have an adjustment here. So we're going to say 600 plus 330 equals 930. This $930 here will be our closing figure. All right. Now we move on to June, the month of June. The question says that in June, we didn't buy anything. right? Because of course you have two goods. You bought one in January and you bought one in May. None from the products in January was sold, none from the products in May was sold. You don't want it to be a case where your goods go bad on you and you end up losing money. So instead of buying new products, you will try to sell from the two previous products that you would have purchased, or the two products that you would have purchased previously. Nonetheless, let's go on into it. So again, what can help you to get the answer is to focus on the amount of money that each product is sold for. So here, this six items is sold for $30 each. Where did the 6 items come from? FIFO says to sell from the first batch of goods that you purchased first. So this 6 items came from the 20 items here. So in June, you're going to sell 6 items of the 20, or you sold 6 items of the 20, multiply the 6 times the 30, and you have $420. But before you do the calculations to find out how much stock is left after the month of June, you will now have to do stock taking or stock valuation. This means that 20 minus 6, when you check up your stock, you say, oh, we bought 20 cases of this from Sashanique. Selena will now say 20 minus 6. So this 20 here, subtract this 6, and 14 is left, right? So because each item, it says each item should be sold at $30 each, you're going to write the balance, which is 14, at $30 each. Now you're going to say 30 times 14 equals $420. FIFO says first in, first out. So after you would have dealt with this, you go on to the next item, the next good, which was purchased in May, but not sold in May. That's why we have this blank space here. It wasn't sold. So we still, after doing our stock taking, we still have all this good here because none was sold. So we rewrite it here, 10 at $33 each. And we have an adjustment to make. So we're going to say $420 plus $330, and we get $750 for the total figure. All right, good. So let's move on to July. Let me just scroll down. So we're moving on to July. In July, we purchased 16 case. Selena purchased 16 case of, was it pineapple, from Taifa. And she used to sell one of those pineapples for $38.5. When she sells, I'm sorry, I was distracted. So for those 16 pineapples that she received in July, she used to sell one for $38.5. However, she was not able to sell, Selena was not able to sell any in July. Again, FIFO says first goods in, first goods out. So this is why we are going to rewrite our first goods here, which is the 14 at $30. This is it. And it would come from the good from January. The 10 at $33 is the items that weren't sold in May nor June. We rewrite them here. And then now we go on to write our good in July. Our third good in July that was not sold in the month of July. We rewrite it here. When you multiply 38 times at 38.5 rather times 16, you will get $616. Again, this is our adjustment column. So you say 420 plus 330 plus $616, and you will get $1,366. Of course, when you're rewatching the video, for anything that you might have missed, you can go ahead and check with your calculator to see if this is the right figure, if all these figures are correct. Now we move on to August. Remember, in May, we purchased some items. We sold none. In January, we only sold 14 of the items that we purchased. Sorry, 6 of the items that we purchased in January. And we purchased May, and again, we purchased in July. None of the items we purchased in July was sold. As you can see, the blank space here on the issued. Therefore, you don't want your goods to, Selena doesn't want her goods to pile up on her and to go bad. So she did that. She decided not to buy any in August, in the month of August 2007. Hence, she's trying to sell from these goods here. So remember this 14 at $30, this 14 items at $30 is what Selena purchased in January. It's what was left over after she sold the 6 goods that she purchased in January. See it here? So in August, she managed to sell all of the items, all 14 items that she purchased from January. So now, here we see that all of the items for January was sold in August. That is why we're not going to have anything to multiply with this figure to get an answer here. We're going to move on to May. Notice the $33 here and the $33 here. We're moving on to the month of May. In May, we didn't sell any of the things that we bought. In June, we didn't sell any of the things we bought in May either. In July, we didn't sell any of May products either. However, in August, we sold 8 of the 10 goods we purchased in May. And 1 good is sold for $33. So 10 minus 8 leave 2. 10 minus 8, 8 items leave 2 items. And the cost that we're selling 1 item for is $33 each. So we after the end of August, at the end of August, bear with me, please. At the end of August, we check to see how many items we have left from the box of pineapple that Selena purchased. And she has 2 left over. So you're going to say 33 times 2 equals 66. In August, we sold 8 of these 10 goods. So we're going to say 8 times 33. Sorry, we're not going to say 8 times 33. We're going to say 2 times 33 because this 2 is what is left over after we sold the 8 out of 10. So our next adjustment would be for July. Yes. So in July, we purchased 16, Selena purchased 16 items for $38.5. And then she wasn't able to sell any in July. Taifa didn't buy any, Azika didn't buy any, Savings didn't buy any from her in any of these months. And forgive me if I forget some of the students' name, if I keep using the same names over. So anyway, we're going to rewrite this figure here at stock after each transaction because none was sold in July, none was sold in August. So at the end of August, when you're doing stock taking, when you're checking on your shelf to see how many items are left over, you will have the same total because none was sold. Now you're going to find the total of this adjusted figures. 420 plus 330 plus 616 gives you $1,366. I think we did something wrong. So that's the figure, the total figure for this. And then now for our 14 at $30, we're working with our 8 that was already sold off in June. So we're going to our 8 at $33. These are the items we would have purchased in May, but that weren't sold off. Here now, in July, we purchased our 16 at $38.5 each. And Gianna is the one who sold Selena those 16 items. Because none of those items were sold in August or in July when they were purchased, we're going to be doing stock taking. And I want Giselle to be doing the stock taking now. So Giselle did the stock taking at the ending of August and she realized none was sold. So she put back the same figure here that she had in July. You total the 66 and the 616 and you get $682. And that, again, this second $sign column is our closing stock column after adjustments are made. So in this adjusted column. Let me scroll down. All right. So we're at October now. In October, Selena again purchased 12 items from Rochelle. Each cost $39. However, in October, Selena was not able to sell any of those items that she purchased in October. So at the end of stock taking, who was doing stock take? Gianna was doing stock taking. So at the end of the month of October, Gianna is doing stock taking and she realized that none of these items were sold. So she's going to rewrite the same figure here because 12 minus 0 is 12. Now, in this stock evaluation column is where we're going to do another calculation. So we say 12 times $39 each gives you $468. So in our adjusted column, and bearing in mind that FIFO says first in, first out, so we're always going to sell from the first month that we purchase our items from. So when you find the total of this, finding the total of this would be $1,150. Of course, you're at home, you have your calculator, so you can double check the figures, all right? Our final month is December. In December, we purchased, Selena decided not to purchase any items again because she don't want them to go bad on her and lose money. Now, when we look on October, we realized that we didn't sell any, as was mentioned before. Scrolling back up. This figure here, this 2 at $33 comes from May, remember? So looking at the dollars will help you to remember which good you have to sell from next. So in May, we would have sold no item. None was sold in May. But the items that we purchased from, we sold from them in August. We sold 8 and 2 was left. It is this 2 item that was left that carried over to December and we sold them in December. See, this is the issued column or the sold column, sales column. So we sold these 2 items that we purchased in May in December. And there are the amount that was left over from selling the 8 items. So because we sell all these items now, all the items we purchased in May, we're not going to multiply the 2 by the 33 anymore because that is finished. It's done. We have nothing else from that May case of items to sell. Now that's the first good. Now we're working with our $38.5 goods. And we purchased 16 at that cost in the month of July. Selena started selling from this good now because she has no more left to sell from, except the one she purchased in October, which would be the last, but we're working with first. FIFO, first in, first out. So we're working with the first good now. In December, she sold 8 of those 16 products. Let's say this is iPhone, right? So 16 iPhones. Selena sold 8 of those iPhones to Anelia in December. After she sold that 8, she would have been left with 8 because 8 plus 8 equals 16. So we still have our 8 at $38.5, 8 iPhones at $38.5. And when we multiply that, we have $308 total. Now, because there's an adjusted figure, we're going to do our calculations in this column and put the total there. Before we go on to that though, we have to remember that in October, we purchased 12 sanitizers at $39 each. None of those sanitizers were sold in October. We didn't sell any in November either. So in December, will we sell any? No, we did not sell any in December either. So after we do, at the end of December, we're going to do our next stock valuation. And we realized that, Gianna realized that none was sold out of this 12 sanitizers that she purchased in October. So she rewrites the same total. In our adjusted column, we will do our addition. 308 plus 468 equals 776. And I'm just checking the time. All right, so $776. And that's the end of our FIFO. First good in, first good to go out. That's FIFO. Now we move on to LIFO. Let's look back on the question. So this is the question again, and we were required to calculate the closing stock, which comes under the second dollar sign because the first dollar sign is the adjustments column. So we calculated our closing stock in trade using the FIFO method, which is first in, first out. And LIFO means last in, first out. So let's move on to this a little bit more tricky one. But before that, I want to give you, whoops, I'm going too fast. I want to give you 2 minutes or so to process this. So you can go ahead and do your processing. It's 9:59 a.m. I need to hurry up. All right, let's see. Still have a minute left. All right, so let's move on now to LIFO. Last in, first out. Always remember the L starts for last, the I is in, the F is first, the O is out. So LIFO. We still have the same, we're still working with the same year. It's just a different method that we're using. So again, stock after each transaction means that after you would have sold any items from this batch here, you would check to see what is the difference, what is left over, and you will write it here. This is our adjustment column, and this is our final closing stock figure. So in January, again, we would have purchased our 20 items for $30 each, right, Selena? And as none was issued in January, as none was sold in January from this batch, this case of 20, we're going to do our stock valuation, which is counting up the amount of goods that were sold and the goods that were not sold. And we're going to put our total figure here. Here is our calculation section. So 20 times 30 equals 600. There's nothing in this, no other transaction in January that took place, and so there is nothing for us to adjust here in this column. So that is why we put the final total in the closing stock column. In May, again, we purchased the same 10 goods for $33 because we're working with the same figures. It's just a different method. So our 10 goes at $33. We sold none in May. Let me pause for a moment in case I'm going too fast. We did not sell any or issue any in May, even though we purchased them in May. We are going to rewrite our first goods that we have in stock, right? So pay attention. This column is the one that might give you the issue. This column is the one that tells the difference, shows the difference clearly. And this column, the issued, and this column shows the difference clearly between the LIFO and the FIFO. So we rewrite our $20 each, our 20 at $30 each. That's a good that was in January, right? Multiply that is the 600 that we took from here, we returned here or replaced here. Now this second item that we purchased in May, we didn't sell any from it in May. So we put back the same amount here after doing our stock taking. Same calculation, 600 plus 330 gives us $930 for closing stock. Pause again. In June, we did not buy any items. Selena did not buy any items in June. Taifa did not buy anything from her in June, in May rather. So she decided not to buy anything in June. Selena decided not to add any other items to her stock in June. However, in June, she was able to sell 6 items. Giselle Rowe, Anelia Rowe, I think. Abigail, let's say Abigail. So Abigail decided to buy 6 of these items here. And this is how the LIFO comes in now. So if you notice, with FIFO, we would have sold from this 20 case first because it's the first good we received in the month of January. The goods that we received in May would have been the last good that we're selling from if it was the FIFO method. But because it's the LIFO method, the last in, last out method, so we are selling from this good here. It's the last good that we have purchased. So out of it, Abigail purchased 6 items from Selena. 10 minus 6, you're left with 4. Notice the color differences. 10 minus 6, you're left with 4. And they said to sell it at $33 each. So you rewrite the $33 here. This means that after stock valuation at the end of June, you would now have 4 items leave out of this case that you purchased in May. So now you will say in our calculations column, where our stock after each transaction, we're going to say 4 times 33 equals $132. Find the sum of these two figures, and it's 600 plus 132 equals $732. Understand? I hope. So now we move on to July. In July, Selena, and I keep using Selena because she's the owner of the business, right? So in July, Selena purchased 16 cases. Was it 16 iPhones we said at $38.5 from Taifa? And Miranda did not buy any from Selena. Azika did not buy any from Selena either, neither did Chanel. So Selena is left with her 16 iPhones at $38.5 after doing her stock valuation at the ending of July. So we simply rewrite it here. Calculations column, 16 times 38.5 gives you $616. When you are rewatching the video or replaying the video, to cement what you might have missed in the class, you can slow down the video. And that's one of the things with Zoom. It's so nice. You can slow down the video and You can pause the video at anywhere you want to pause it, and you can continue watching the video after you are finished. I want you to write down this question in your book and to write down the answer as well, because that will help you when you're practicing and when I need to grade your book, because I'm going to be grading your book. All right, so moving on. We're at the month of August, yes. So in August, Selena decided not to purchase anything. She didn't buy anything from, boy, the names though. She didn't buy anything from Gianna. No, Gianna is doing stock taking. So she didn't buy anything at all from Sashonique in August because nothing was sold in July. So we rewrite this transaction here in July, or the total amount of goods that she had in July, we're going to put them back in August. They go over to August. In August, she sold all 16 iPhones. She sold all 16 iPhones. She bought them in July, but she never sold any in July. She sold them in August. Because she have this 16 years, she didn't buy anything in August. That's why the receipts column here in August is left. The received column is left blank for the space of August. But she now selling all 16 iPhones to Azika in August means that for the closing, for the evaluation, when she's doing stock, Gianna is doing stock evaluation for the ending of August, she has nothing to write for this item because everything was sold. This is why this section is left blank. There's nothing to put there. But as it is, it's LIFO, right? Last in, first out. So we sold from the item we received in May 1st before we sell from January. So all we didn't sell in May. We only sold 4. We only sold 6 of the items we purchased in May, and we have 4 left. But because LIFO is last in, so the last items we received in July is what we're gonna sell first before we sell the items in May. We're not paying attention to this here because we would have completed selling them off in, wait, let me see. No, we didn't complete selling this off. 20 at 30, 20 at 30 transaction, 600. So we didn't complete selling this off. We're gonna complete selling it in August. So in August, again, we have our 4 at $33. Our 4 items at $33, which would have been what is left over from May. And if you notice, the 16 at $38.5 is the last item we received in July. That's LIFO. Last in, first out. Last month, July, first products to be sold. Then we purchased these items here in May. They are the second items to be sold. We purchased these items here in January. They're the third items to be sold all the way in August. So that's LIFO. Pay constant attention to what is happening in these 3 columns here to differentiate LIFO from FIFO. All right, so let me check the time again, so I don't be too long with this video. Class starts at 10:30. It's now 10:10, so I need to hurry up. All right, so we just have August and October and December left, so we should finish quickly. I should finish quickly. So in August now, we sold 18. We sold 2 items out of, let me scroll up a little bit. These 2 items here are what was left after you sold the items from January. That's why it's in red. All right. So in January, we're going to sell 2 of the 20. 20 minus 2, leave 18. That's where this 18 come from. I think I made an error a while ago, but I corrected it. So in January, we purchased these 20 items and we're going to sell it in August. In August, we're going to sell it last. We're selling it last because it's the first thing in. So it's sold at last. 2 at $30, 18 at $30 each because 20 minus 2 left 18. 18 times 30 is $540. Moving on. So October, and I'm trying to hurry up. So in October, in August, remember that Selena did not purchase any items because she had a few items up here that was not sold in the respective months. So in October, she purchased again from Sashanique. She purchased 12 items at $39 each. However, in October, she did not sell any of the 12 items she purchased from Sashanique. Hence, you're going to do your stock taking. You're going to check up how many you have in stock. And you realize, Gianna realized that none was sold. So she said 12 times 39 equals $468. Here we have an adjustment to make. 540 times 468 equals 1,008. In December, Selena did not purchase any goods again. Once again, she didn't purchase anything. However, in December, the last item, the last goods that she purchased in October, notice she didn't sell from the one that she purchased in July. See, nothing was sold in July from these iPhones that were purchased until August. She sold them. Then we moved to May. Nothing was purchased from May. We purchased nothing was sold from May after we sold the 4 items in August. They left those that we purchased first that moved on to those that we purchased last, which is this case of strawberries that Amelia purchased, that Selena purchased from Amelia. So in December, Selena would have sold 10 items from these 12 items she purchased in October. That means that though she purchased these 12 items in October, she didn't sell any of these 12 items in November. December is when Selena sold 10 items from these 12 items here at $39 each. So when she's doing stock taking at the end of December, she's going to realize that out of the 12 products purchased in October, out of the 12 cases of strawberries purchased in October, 10 were sold. And we know that 12 minus 10 leave 2. And how much are they to be sold for? $39. So 2 times 39 equals $78. 540 plus 78 equals $618. So that's it for FIFO and for LIFO. For AFCO, let me scroll up a little bit. So that's it for FIFO and LIFO. For AFCO, which is number 3, I'll create another little video for you. I want you to watch it and to do it for assignment. It's not very hard. And I'll also create a video with B so that tomorrow when you come in, we can actually do an activity in class to see if you would have understand what is happening today, and I can give you a grade as well. That will also give you the opportunity. It will be a 2-hour class, so that will also give you the opportunity to say, Miss, I don't understand, or Miss, I understand. And because it's a video that I have created, you will have this video for the rest of the term. You can go on Google Classroom and you can watch it as anytime you feel like you want to. All right. So that's the end of class for today. And let me just remind you, I will put up the register for today on Google Form. I will post the link in the chat so you can go ahead after the class and complete the registration form. All right. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day until I see you tomorrow.